Well, damn if that didn't get me to stand on my feet.
Ooh, that's a hot mug, guy.
I feel like they took a lot of the good comments and criticism that people had about season 2, especially with the break. You do see some of that disparity in terms of the animation for certain episodes, but that's because they clearly budget more, or at least that's how it looks, for certain episodes rather than for others. The last 2 episodes of this season are phenomenal, both in story, in action, in consequence, and in the animation. But overall, I feel like this one did take some notes, but it also had 2 big kind of different changes, at least for me in particular. I feel like the season structure was more like that of Clone Wars, and being that the whole season wasn't really this continuous continuity. It had like a string maybe through it all, but the string was very thin or very thick depending on what was going on in that episode. More so, there were sometimes individual episodes on their own, individual stories, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't, because the first episode has the seismic guy literally kidnap every superhero on the planet, and then he proceeds to fail harder than the Kansas City Chiefs did. And he has these giant worm things, but no one dies. Not even the worm things, which you can definitely see the animation cut on the worms because they're doing this weird motion thing. Then there comes into this kind of element with Cecil and Mark. Mark having a very big issue with Cecil's continuous lying, being almost chaotic, lawful, if you want to say it. Cecil is trying to do the right thing. He is quite literally the guy who you ask who will do whatever it takes to achieve it. We even saw that episode about his past where he had his whole fucking body just melted because of the gas. You get a lot about Cecil in that episode and how he was taught from his predecessor about the idea of using those who were originally threats as your own weapon tools. And that kind of ties into why he's kept Sinclair alive and he's still making those robot things, those robot monsters. We also had a little bit of an update with what was going on with Omniman and Alan. It was literally like a 2-parter episode, because the first half was Mark going into the future to fight a insane immortal. The other half being Alan and Omni-Man in the prison. And that was actually a really funny episode. And again, there were some other ones that were just not the greatest. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about his new costume. I don't like this version. It makes him look like a bug. I don't know why. I mean, it might be because of the black goggles, but I don't know. I think it's okay. We had the episode where they fought the mystical dragon and the rock gangster guy was able to get one over Mark again. We also had one guy played by Aaron Paul, which again, fantastic voice casting by everyone involved in this show, having a grudge against Invincible for a good reason. And then the final 2 episodes, I don't want to really talk about them too much because they're just so good. I don't want to spoil them whatsoever, but holy shit, consequences. Holy shit, stakes. Just the last 2 episodes on IMDb right now, the finale is rated 1.1 higher than the 7th episode. I kind of want to say it's flipped. They're both great. They're both fantastic episodes, but holy shit, definitely all the budget, all the intensity, all the action goes into those last 2 episodes. Overall, I really felt like this was a season that was trying to make up for a few things. We had Eve and Mark having a relationship, which you actually really felt for. You really liked that. You could see the disparity and the fear with his half-brother because he's trying to protect him, but he also can see that his dad's influence is on him. The big thing, the very, very big thing about this season that I don't know if that's the intention of it, but that's how I saw it. This whole season was about Mark learning why killing is sometimes the only option. It was touched on in so many different episodes throughout this season, in so many different situations where it doesn't pay to be the good guy. It doesn't pay to keep people alive, not only for the consequences of what they could do if they come back, but also the consequences of what others would do if you don't finish the job and they do what they want to do with it. I really, really like that throughout this entire season. I think that there is going to be some kind of disparity between it because they do make a couple of references to things that have not been talked about since season 1, particularly the very, very last thing that they show at the end of season 3. I was sitting there going, what the hell is even that? I hope that they take a little bit more time. I don't mind waiting, to be honest. I know that we had to wait essentially 1.5 years. I'm okay waiting for 2 years because I'm just going to rewatch this again because I really enjoy rewatching the show. It's really showing how good Kirkman is when he's taking on something that people know. I know that everyone loves The Walking Dead. I like the comics for the most part. I really like the Telltale Walking games. I did not like the show, really, but I really enjoy his writing in this show. And I know that from what I've heard from people who have read the comic, they're taking elements from the comic and then improving them in the show, except for Amber. This is just a tune-up of his work, kind of like what Game of Thrones was doing sometimes in the earlier seasons. Overall, I think that season 3 is a tad bit better than season 2. Still not the woo of season 1, but you're never going to get that again with that absolute just insanity of how cool and new it felt. But unlike The Boys, it hasn't lost itself. It has still kept its freshness, I feel. It's maybe not as fresh as it was with season 1, but I do feel that this show has so much more in the tank. Every time I think that maybe it's kind of like, maybe it's run out a little bit, it just keeps on coming back with something new, something fun, something surprising, and it makes me want to watch more. Now, admittedly, this is season 3, and The Boys was really good for the first 3 seasons, and then season 4 was kind of so I'm really hoping that does not happen with Invincible season 4. Also, I want the animators and the writers and everyone to have the proper time to make a good season. So again, I can wait. I'm okay with waiting. I can rewatch this again. There's a lot of other stuff to watch on TV. In the end, I'm going to give Invincible season 3 a respectable 5 out of 7. I think it was really fun. I think it was really good. It just shy of a 6 for me because there were certain things that happened in this season that I was like, oh yeah, I kind of like forgot that happened. Regardless, the latter half is super good. -5. 6, 7, 8, really, really good. 4, really good. 2, pretty good. But anyways, those are my thoughts. What did you guys think of this? Do you think it's better than season 2? Do you think it's better than season 1? What did you like about this season? What did you not like about this season? Let me know in the comments below and let's start a discussion. In the end, guys, hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like, and if you're interested in more, subscribe. And until then, see you guys next time.